Hello everyone, my name is Ayomide Emmanuel Agbola. Welcome back to my SQL learning documentary. In the last video, we talked about the where between, where I told us how where between help us to fetch record that fall within the same range. This morning, we'll be talking about the where like that we can also call the pattern matching. For instance, you are looking for a name on your contact and you can't remember the full name, the spelling of the full name. All we could remember is maybe the first two letters that start the name. For maybe you are looking for Agbola, you can just remember AG. When you put AG in your search button, in your search bar, it brings all the names that in that category. That's what it's also doing in SQL. As if you are telling SQL that I want to look for the name that starts with AG, it will bring them all out. And there is a pattern they use in retrieving things like that in SQL. We have the percentage sign and also we have the underscore sign. The percentage sign is used to remember the name that starts a particular name. You put your percentage sign at the back. When you remember the name that ends a particular name, the letter that ends the particular name, you put your percentage sign at the front. And when you know the name in between, maybe for instance, Ayomide Emmanuel Agbola, you remember only the Emmanuel and you can't remember the first and the last name, you just put Emmanuel in the middle and you put your percentage sign at the front and at the back in quote. It will bring the name that has Emmanuel complete. So that's what our where like is in SQL. It helps us to make our work easy. So let's go into the questions and use this in query to understand it better. Return all business owners. We want to look at the business owners whose mode of application starts with B. You know, under our mode of application, we have two records, two distinct records, which is branch and online. So we want to look for the one that starts with B, which is branch. For instance, maybe you can't even remember the remaining letters in that record again. Just remember the B alone. So we just want to say mode of application that starts with B. So that's what we are using to fetch the O records. So that starts with B. This has told SQL that I want to look for the record that starts with B under the mode of application column. And easily it will bring everything for us. So we start our query by using the select to bring out all the records we want to see. And like I said, let me just quickly put the underscore and the percentage pattern up here so we can know what I'm talking about. That is the percentage and the underscore wildcards that we use in SQL to retrieve all these things. So select all. I want to see all the information of BOs that have their mode of application to start with B. From BOs table, we have been using BOs table. From BOs, where the column we are looking for is mode of application, where mode of application like, like is also a keyword in SQL. I'm going to put it in quotes because it's also string. S is string, B is string. So we're going to put it in quotes. Open the quote. We have B because it's starting with B. So our percentage sign will be at the back. Whenever it's starting with B or starting with anything, your percentage sign will be at the back. So let's go and run it. And we see our result. Under the mode of application, we can see that everything we have there is branch that starts with B. You will not find online in this instance. Everything that has to be with branch is only what we are going to be seeing because it starts with B. So that's what this thing does in SQL. It helps us to make our work easier and faster. For another way I said we can also use this percentage sign is maybe you want to return names that ends with a particular character. Maybe only thing that you can remember in my name is the A at the back of Agbola. So when you put your underscore, your percentage sign, when you put your percentage sign at the front and you put A at the back, it means you are telling SQL that I want to return all the names that ends with A. So we're going to return BO's details whose performance ends with X. Under performance column, we have yes and no, right? So we are going to go into our query to select every information of BOs that has their performance records to end with X. So select all from BO. Select all from BO's table. where performance where performance like where performance like where performance like we are looking for a record that ends with X. So we're going to use our percentage sign to be at the front and X at the back. You close the quote and you run. When you run it, you will see a result under the performance column. So let's go to the performance column now. We can see that everything that we have here is yes, 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 because it ends with X. And in some instances, like I said earlier, that if you want to look for a name that you can't really remember the full name, for instance, Ayomide Emmanuel Agbola, and all what you could remember is Emmanuel. When you put your percentage sign at the front, you put Emmanuel in the middle, and also put your percentage at the back, it will bring the full name that has Emmanuel. So another thing that we're talking about is how to use the underscore to also fetch for our records from our database. For instance, we want to look for the BOs that has their mode of application to start with O and end with E. So in this case, you have to know the exact number of characters in that record that you are returning. You can't just say O and end with E and you put one underscore, it will not return it. When you know maybe Ayomide is 7 characters, and what I know about Ayomide is just the A and the E. And I just want to return this thing. I can't remember the remaining character in between the name. You're going to put your A at the front, you put 5 underscores, and you put E. So the question is, return the details of BOs whose mode of application starts with O and ends with E. So we know that it is online that we have in that column, which is a record in that column, which is online. So we know that online is 6 characters, and we know just the first and the last character there. So we'll be having 4 characters in between the 2 characters. So we select all from BO's table where mode of application like so we're going to put it in quote also. We have O, and like I said, online is 6 characters, so we'll be having our 4 underscore in between O and E. And this only works when you know the number of characters of what you are looking for. So we put E at the back and you put it in quote, and you go and run now. When you run it, we see our result under mode of application. And here we have online in our mode of application. That's the only thing we have there. We can't see branch because O and E is what we use to look for these records. So can we see that we have only online there? So that's how these things work in SQL. It helps us to look for characters easily, and in case we forget our records, and maybe what we just remember there is the first letter and the last letter, or maybe the first letter, just use your percentage to return it. And if you know the length of the words of the name you are looking for, can use your underscore also to return them. So that's how they work in SQL, and it makes our work easier and faster.